I much rather would experience what Rich went through. At least then I can experience it at my home. I don't have to worry about being there and being away from things and being pulled away from other stuff. Hey everybody, Chad here. Happy New Year. So good to see all of you again. Really excited to be back. Excited for new videos for 2019. This is the first video of 2019. And let's just jump right into it. Philip DeFranco reference, I guess. Listen, I filmed like 6 videos, and I haven't uploaded any of them. A lot of reasons behind that. We'll get into that later. Some things to talk about, but the one thing I did want to do today is sort of react a little bit to Rich Rebuild's most recent series of videos, as well as share some thoughts related to the subject. I got a bunch of notes. If you haven't seen Rich Rebuild's most recent set, if you haven't seen any of Rich Rebuild's video, first off, what are you doing? Holy cow! In terms of Tesla content, it's some of the best sort of anti-hero Tesla content that's out there on the internet. I'm a huge fan. I would love to talk to him and talk shop a little bit, but that's neither here nor there. If you haven't seen any of the Rich Rebuilds video, I'm going to link his channel down below, and I'm going to link specifically the 2 videos that I'm referencing here as well. So in his 2 most recent videos, he talks about the experience of buying a used Tesla. His buying experience is really, really incredible. For the sake of time, and you should definitely go watch those videos. I won't be offended if you go watch them right now. Okay, if you didn't go watch them. So here's the deal. He buys a used Tesla. And he makes a comparison to what it's like to buy other used luxury vehicles. If you go buy a used Mercedes-Benz, you go to the dealership, you buy the car, you can have it tomorrow. You get to see the car, you get to touch the car, you get to drive the car. In most cases, you get to drive the car. So, that's the talk. Buying a used Tesla is not like that. You see it online. There's no pictures. There's just cartoons, animations, essentially. You get some details, but nothing. You have to pay money to then pay more money later. It's a tough experience, and it's really hard. If you haven't seen our video about our experience buying a Tesla, we had some terrible things happen too. His experience on the used side, completely different than ours on the new side, but both equally frustrating. He went essentially paid for the car, got insurance, didn't see the car for 2 months later, still didn't have the car. It's the same for us. When we heard we were getting a car, we got insurance, and then our brand new Model X was lost, and just lots of weird stuff that happens. The logistics nightmare of buying a Tesla, used or new, is frustrating, and it's really a challenge. So we had made a service appointment for our Honda Accord. My wife got a phone call from Honda after making the appointment saying, "Hey, we saw that you have made this appointment to get your car serviced. We would really like your Honda Accord. So while you're here, would you be interested in trading up to something else?" So our Honda Accord is on a lease. We knew that it was almost time. Almost time. We had a number of months left before our lease was up. But they wanted our car, so we thought, well, yeah, we'll take a look and see if there's anything that is interesting, and if we want to keep the lease going. So some things we talked about. We talked about getting a Model 3. The timing wasn't quite right for us to get a second Tesla. Beyond just the cost and all of that, we snuck in last year with the tax credit. We're kind of sitting here now, thinking that eventually we do want 2 electric cars, Part of me thinks that we could have made it work now, but just like the financials and the logistics of dealing with 2 electric cars every day, it does seem like we end up in 1 or 2 situations a year where we need the long range and the fuel. So we're not quite to where I want to be yet for having 2 electric cars. But we looked at the Model 3, we considered it. I still think that there's a chance that we end up getting one sooner than later. I'm not sure what that looks like or how that works. But for now, we figured, well, if we're gonna do this, the thing that makes the most sense is to go ahead and give them the Accord, trade up, and get something different. My wife took the car to the service appointment. She test drove a few cars. Of course, they wanted her to do everything right there on the spot. She said no, so we made an appointment for Saturday morning at 9 a.m. to go into Honda and talk through the details of, trading up or extending our lease or re-upping or, whatever it was going to look like. So we go at 9 a.m., we get there, the guy meets me, he shows me the car that my wife drove, which was the Honda Ridgeline, the truck. As many of you know, with the business, we are dealing with a lot of moving, a lot of loads of trash, just a lot of hauling stuff. And we were looking for a second option so that we use the Tesla all the time to haul stuff, and it's great. We were wondering if having 2 cars that could haul just quickly, throw it in and go, would be better. We really, really like the Ridgeline. It was super, super nice, great to drive, doesn't drive like a truck. Even though I love big trucks, it doesn't drive like a big truck, which is nice. So we drove that, and we drove the new Accord, and we drove sort of one trim up on the Accord. Us and wanted our car. They showed us, the things we wanted to see. And then when all was said and done, we still had to go through the song and dance of dealing with the dealership. After seeing Rich's video about his experience of, buying online and waiting all this time and never seeing pictures of the car and, having to play this waiting game where you don't know what's going on. And then our experience of buying a brand new Tesla and waiting and waiting and waiting, and then when it's finally time for it to be there, the car getting lost and having to rearrange schedules and having to, saying it's going to be here X day, and then it's not here until, 2 weeks later or whatever. That experience is frustrating, but I would take that any day over the experience of going to a dealership. It's 2019, and we still live in a world where I have to go to a dealership. I have to have one guy show me the car, and then I have to have a second guy do the financials of the car. Then he has to do the stupid song and dance of, well, let me go to my manager and talk to him about things. So he goes to his manager, and then he comes back and says, no, we can't do that price. And then, oh God, just what? Why? Why is it so hard in 2019 still? Especially when they were the one that initiated this conversation. There's a couple times that we just almost walked away because of, we really didn't have to be there. We had some time left to make a decision. We could have done anything else. Our thought was that since we thought we were going to be re-upping anyway, if we re-up the same way, then we don't have to worry about all of the, sort of paying the cost to take the lease back and, all of that stuff. So it was just frustrating to sit there. We sat there for 5 hours. We were in the dealership for 5 hours to get things done. Of course, by the time we got everything figured out, then they were busy, and so we couldn't get into the finance office to fill out all the paperwork there. I'm like, just let me pay and go. All said and done, we spent 5 hours at the dealership to walk away with a 2019 Honda Accord. I much rather would experience what Rich went through. At least then I can experience it at my home. I don't have to worry about
being there and being away from things and being pulled away from other stuff. It's just frustrating to think of what buying a car is in 2019. The logistics of Tesla might not be great, but the buying experience is right. I'm done with this dealership experience. I'm probably never going to do that again, barring something crazy. I don't know. It's just amazing to think, especially since they are the ones who told us to come and try to get something new. But we had a miserable experience. At the end, we did walk away with sort of with a nice new car, with the deal that we wanted it to be. So I feel pretty good about the deal we got. But still, we had to sit there and fight about numbers for 2 hours. With a kid sitting there and with the hustle and bustle of the dealership going by. All this stuff designed to frustrate you and give the dealership the advantage. But yeah, I would rather someone tell me what the price is going to be, and I do it online, and that's it. I guess I'm just a typical kid. I'm not a kid, but I'm just a typical person that way. That I'm done. I'm done dealing with stores, and I'm done fighting in that way and haggling with people about the price. So yeah, that's it. Hope you guys are great. Hope you had great holidays and a great winter so far. Sorry for the absence. I've got a video coming up that's going to talk a little bit about that. But things are going great here now. It's busy. The holidays were super busy. We traveled a lot. Like I said, I made 4 or 5 videos, but none of them really seemed to get my point across of where we were, what we were doing. So we'll talk about that soon. And I'm just really happy to be back and back in front of this camera and making videos for you. So great to see you guys. We'll see you in the next video. If it's your first time here, be sure to click that like and subscribe button. I truly appreciate it. Yeah, thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one.
Ooh, hot.